welcome to another pregnancy update. Today I am too lazy to go get my tripod, so I'm just gonna hold the camera. So if you see lots of different angles, that's because my arm gets tired. I am now 12 full weeks pregnant, and the size of the baby or the fetus or embryo, whatever it is right now, I don't remember. The size is, as you saw in the intro, about the size of a Roborovsky hamster, dwarf hamster, and I kind of thought that was kind of a funny comparison, because I have different apps on my phone and they give different comparisons, and I actually had those kinds of hamsters when I was younger and bred them and stuff, so I couldn't resist. But for those who don't really have, who can't really relate to the size of them, apparently the little one in the belly is about the size of a plum. So that's kind of crazy. I feel like it's grown so fast. Just a couple of weeks ago it was like the size of a little Lego man, and now it's like a plum. And obviously it's not like round and big as a plum, but the length, you know. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. And it's crazy that I am now in my second trimester. I know that different people have different ideas of when the second trimester starts, but I know that like Swedish healthcare officials or whatever, they say that the end of the 12th week is the end of the first trimester, so that's what I'm counting myself as, I guess you could say. So yeah, it's the first day of the 13th week today, so I am in my second trimester. Kind of crazy, and also very, very reassuring. At the same time, I'm definitely not like sure that I'm gonna have a baby yet. I'm still kind of feeling like this could still be another miscarriage, because my last, or 2 miscarriages ago, I had a miscarriage in week 13. So obviously I am not feeling super confident yet, but we do have an ultrasound on Thursday in 2 days. So that's hopefully just gonna be fun and nice to see a growing baby, and obviously that's what we're hoping for. And at that ultrasound, which is called the CUB ultrasound, that's actually when we found out that our baby had died a year and a half ago. So that's kind of sensitive, and I think there's gonna be a lot of emotions on Thursday, and I'm gonna try to film it if I'm allowed. I'm gonna be at a new clinic that I've never been at before, so we'll see. But I'm hoping that I can film it, and I'm hoping that everything is good. I'm gonna talk about the specifics of the ultrasound in a little bit, but first I thought that I would talk about my symptoms to get that out of the way. Not a lot has changed. I think the nausea might be kind of going away slowly, but it's kind of hard to compare since I'm not throwing up or anything. There's nothing concrete that I can like measure. I just feel like maybe I'm not as nauseous during the day, so that's good. I have a lot of stretching and kind of belly pain and ache, and sometimes almost cramping, or it feels like cramping. I think it's just the ovary I think it's just the uterus like stretching and growing and my organs moving around, but it's quite, well, almost painful, definitely very uncomfortable. And I can't bend over without having pain or uncomfortableness, and if I sit for too long I have to lie down. So that's something that I've had for a few weeks, but I think it's getting worse. I definitely can feel the stretching a lot more in my belly now. As for headaches, I still have them. I was actually gonna call my midwife yesterday to kind of let her know about the headaches, because I felt like I probably should. But then over the weekend I decided to start counting how much I'm drinking, as in water, because every time I mention the headaches, of course people ask me, are you drinking enough? And I was like, yeah, of course I am. But then I figured I don't really know how much I'm drinking, so now I have these, actually I have 2 of these water bottles. They take about 5 deciliters each, so I have to drink 4 of those each day to get the amount of water in my body that I need every day. So I've been doing that, and the headaches were kind of, I didn't really have headaches for a couple of days during the weekend and Monday. At least not the persistent ones and the very like stronger ones that I couldn't ignore. So I decided not to call her yesterday, and then today, a few hours ago, I had a really bad headache. It kind of started just like that. It was so like instant, and it hurt so bad. It was just pounding. Light just felt like it made it worse. I almost felt like I was gonna throw up. And then I basically got up here into the bedroom, I closed the blinds, and then I fell asleep in the room. And I felt better when I woke up a couple of hours later. I was gonna say weeks. A couple of hours later. But it's kind of scary in a way, and I think it might be almost like a migraine attack. I've never had one, so I don't know what they're like, but I had kind of the same thing last week. And at that point, I actually sat on the floor in the bathroom thinking that I was going to throw up, but I didn't. But yeah, it's kind of scary that I've had them twice now, and I'm definitely going to let my midwife know so that we can just keep an eye on it. And if she thinks that we need to do some kind of tests, then we can do that. So yeah, that's basically it for symptoms, I think. So let's talk about the ultrasound. In Sweden, you aren't offered a lot of ultrasounds unless something is wrong and you need to check something up. You have one routine ultrasound around week 18, and then of course you have at least one ultrasound as you kind of get closer to the due date. But then in some municipalities, mine included, you are also offered a fetus diagnostics ultrasound, and that is what we're doing on Thursday. It's called CUB, which stands for Combined Ultrasound and Biochemic Testing. So we have done, well, I've taken blood tests that have already been like through the system, and then we're doing the ultrasound on Thursday, and they are going to combine those, the findings on the ultrasound and the blood tests, and I think our ages and stuff, and then they get kind of a number on the risk that the baby has Down syndrome. This is what the whole test is for. So it could be like 1 in 20,000 or 1 in 800 or 1 in 5. So it's no diagnosis, it's just kind of I don't know what it's called in English, but I think you understand. And we actually in some places, or in a lot of places, and when we were pregnant with Tyrion, they only offered this to women over 35, age 35, because that's a big risk factor when the at least the mother is a bit older. And obviously we aren't there yet, at least, but apparently now they've changed the rules, so now everyone's allowed to do this ultrasound without having to pay. And I decided even before I got pregnant that I wanted to do it, not really because of the fetus diagnostics thing, but because I wanted an extra ultrasound, because I wanted to see the fetus before 18 weeks, just because of my anxiety around miscarriages and stuff. And like I said, we did this ultrasound with my pregnancy 1.5 years ago, but of course, since the fetus turned out to not have survived, we didn't, I mean, you couldn't do the actual test. So this time around, we're gonna do the testing and that stuff as long as the fetus is alive and well. And I'm not very worried about the testing. I feel like we don't have any of the big risk factors, but I want the ultrasound, like I said. So that is what we're doing, and yeah, I'm anxious, but I feel like it's gonna be fine. I have so many symptoms that I feel like my body would really be tricking me if the fetus had died now. It doesn't make sense to me, but obviously I know it can happen. But yeah, with my other miscarriage that was in week 13, I didn't have a lot of symptoms, and I thought that I was just kind of lucky and I didn't have a lot of nausea and stuff, but obviously my body had already started to kind of stop producing the hormones and stuff. So yeah, that was kind of a damper. I don't want to talk about my miscarriages too much in these vlogs, because this is kind of, or these videos, because these are happy videos and these are about the baby to come. But it is part of my history, obviously, and I think it's kind of important sometimes to bring it up and just give some perspective on why I see things the way I do and why I think the way I do. But I think that's going to be it for today. I have now been filming for 12 minutes, so I think it's time to end this. I need to show my belly. I always forget, but I need to show my belly. Okay, I think this is going to be the best spot. I feel like my belly is kind of popping. Not sure how much you can see, but here's the belly. Obviously I have some dinner and stuff in there too now, but I don't know, I feel like I'm starting to kind of look a little bit pregnant, at least in some garments. Whatever. Please like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more of our daily vlogs, and we will see you tomorrow. Hej då!